Welcome to the House, our weekly NFL Pick'em show. You want to know who's going to win the games this week? You're in the right place. If you want really detailed reasons why, you're not in the right place because we're just three Joes talking.
You should probably go somewhere else.
And you know what?
Maybe a major news network for that.
Maybe, perhaps. Anyway, Connor, Nick, and Jack, we've had a lot of new viewers recently, so we want to give you the lowdown on what we're doing here. We're picking every NFL game. We just pick who we think's going to win. Sometimes it's humorous, sometimes we have nothing to say, and sometimes we actually give some insight. It's really hit or miss, but hopefully you're entertained throughout. Also, we have to wear masks because we record this at our school, our college, I should say. That makes us sound more professional, and we have to wear them in the TV studio. So, yay. Regardless, though, we hope you're having a good time watching. If you're a returning viewer, if you're a new viewer, welcome to the show. We hope you enjoy. Here are our records. I didn't have them before we started rolling, but here they are, down here. Somewhere. Maybe my hands are above it now? Don't know. Anyway, let's get right into it. Connor, big week of NFL action coming up. Jack, same thing can be said. I should bring it up to you as well. We start off with the Broncos and the Patriots. Who are we taking in this one, boys?
Pats. This is no brainer for me. Broncos stink. Also, the Broncos cost me money a while back, so I got a vendetta out for Denver.
Belichick had to have his whole team show up on a delayed game at Kansas City. And now he has a game canceled. It's not the Broncos' fault. But do you think Bill Belichick's going to, let everyone, get away with that? I think he's going to make the whole league pay for making him and his guys wait. I think the Broncos are just the team standing in the way.
Absolutely. I think Belichick really has his teams ready following the bye weeks as they experienced this past week. I'm going with the Patriots against the banged-up Broncos team.
That was more concise than the long tirade I tried to go on. Second game this week is going to be the Texans and the Titans. The Titans, just before we finished rolling, or right before we started recording, I'm struggling today, demolished the previously unbeaten Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Titans in this one. They're looking like a really cohesive team, and everyone thought the Bills might be world beaters. They just got smoked. And I love Derrick Henry. Last I saw, before we started recording other stuff, he had 2 touchdowns. His yard total was a little small, but that doesn't matter. He might have even, raised it, obviously. Had some good yards per carry average, but I'm not positive. But anyway, he finds a way to get in the end zone whenever they're inside the red zone. I'm going with the Titans big here.
Look, I am taking
Rip Bill O'Brien.
I'm taking an economics class at the time being. If it's one thing that I've learned in this class, it's that economic efficiency is paramount, and that's exactly what Derrick Henry is. He's efficient. The yard totals might not be there, but the production is all the same. I'm taking the Titans.
I'll tell you what, the Titans really came back tonight, as we mentioned. I wasn't experiencing that after COVID-19. This week I'm going with the Texans. Coming off a big first win, no Bill O'Brien. I think Deshaun Watson has fared pretty well from recent memory against the Titans. So I'm going to go with the Texans in this one.
It's amazing what happens when you get rid of people named O'Brien.
Yeah.
That's his last name. Get it? No, please.
No, I don't care.
You're the only one people are entertained by. Anyway, AFC North matchup. Battle of 2 of the top dogs in the conference, the Steelers and Browns. Who would have thought that would be a sentence? Both teams, wins are kind of sus, beating up on teams with combined really crappy records. The Browns last week obviously had a big win against the Colts. People were very conflicted on who to take that game. I'm conflicted on who to take this game. But per what I've been saying, I am picking the Steelers until they lose. So I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Steelers. Go Steelers.
This is my game of the week, too.
This has to be my game of the week as well, surprisingly. There's a lot of good games this week, but this one in particular I think is going to be a shootout. I'm going to go with the Browns, however. They've been on a roll recently.
No balls.
Steelers, I think it's going to be tight. I see a field goal game. So I'm going to go with the Browns in this one.
Fair enough. Moving on to another AFC North team, the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's a little iffy for me. I don't know why. Something about Philly at home. Their fans are back. Wants to give me that edge. They showed a lot of grit in that game against Pittsburgh. Almost snapped Pittsburgh's streak of never losing a game at Heinz when they're up by 17 points. Fun fact for you. But I think I got to go with Baltimore here. Pittsburgh always tries to let the other team come back into the game, especially when it's a team they should beat. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. Eagles still kind of banged up too. I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one.
Something I say on the podcast religiously is that the Steelers are the most reliably unreliable team in the NFL, meaning they love to let teams hang around and come back and make the game interesting. I think Baltimore's going to steamroll this struggling Baltimore.
Bless you.
That was kind of dramatic.
COVID.
I apologize. There's no need. There's no need for that.
I'm going to take the Ravens from a safe distance.
You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm dealing with here? Unbelievable. Connor.
Look, folks, it's got to be the Ravens in this one. The Steelers, as Jack mentioned, always played down to the level of their competition. It seems like too tight in that game. I'm going to go with Baltimore to steamroll them as well.
Washington football team at New York to take on the winless Giants. Oh no. This is what I say when I don't know what the hell to pick.
It's another fun one.
Giants gave the Cowboys a game. Cowboys aren't that good, though. There's a lot of talent there. The record's not reflecting it. At least on the offensive side, there's a lot of talent there. I don't know, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Giants.
The other thing we don't know is who's starting quarterback for Washington right now. As we mentioned.
What a moment with Alex Smith, though. Not
Exactly.
to cut you off. Awesome moment.
Awesome moment. Surprisingly, I think I'm going to have to go with Washington in this one.
I don't know if you say surprisingly for either one. It's kind of like...
For either one, it's a toss-up.
Guys,
I got to go with Washington.
This is my game of the week.
Oh, my God.
In what I am dubbing as the Turnover Bowl. Because this game's going to be nothing less or nothing more of complete and utter dog
Wow.
by both teams. There are no winners in this game. But due to the criteria of this show, I need to pick a winner. That winner will be the New York Football Giants. But at the same time, nobody wins in the Turnover Bowl.
Falcons at Vikings. We just saw that Bill O'Brien was fired and the Texans won. Dan Quinn has been fired from the Falcons. Will they pick up a win? No, they won't, because the Vikings just gave MVP candidate Russell Wilson and the Seahawks a hell of a game. Came right down to the wire. I think the Vikings, they're heartbroken because of that loss. I think they ride into, they're at home, so I guess that makes no sense. They go back home, and they find success against a very game Falcons team who's very excited, despite their injuries to guys like Julio. I think he's still injured as of right now, technically. I think they come in and they pick up a big win against the Falcons.
Like I said, likely. I think Julio Jones and Cook will not be playing in this game. So I think it's going to be even more interesting. I got to go with the Vikings, as Nick mentioned as well. They gave the Seahawks a really good run for their money. So I'm going to go with them this week.
That was a great game.
It was fantastic. It really
Connor and
was.
I embraced in a hug afterwards.
Yeah, we did.
Because I needed Russell Wilson for fantasy, and
I
he needed
needed
DK
DK.
Metcalf. And that was the last touchdown of the game. That was a great moment.
My player of the week last week. 2 touchdowns coming through.
I'm going to be the wild card here, and I know this is going to hurt me in the end, but I'm going to put some faith in the Atlanta Falcons to put down a hopeful Viking team at home.
That moves us on to the Lions and Jaguars. Yuck.
Another one.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars just because
Another one.
I feel like I need to ride with Gardner Minshew whenever it's a toss-up.
Matt Patricia's job may be in the balance in this one for the Lions. I'm going to go with the Jaguars at home. However, the Lions have not been impressive despite not utilizing their stars, I think.
They are coming off a bye, though.
They are coming
if that
off
means
of a bye.
anything to you.
They are coming off of a bye. I'm still going to go with Jacksonville.
I'm going to
right.
say that Matt Patricia defends his job. He's going to prove that this is his team. I'm going to go with the Lions.
Okay. Bengals at Colts. Joe Burrow, my hero, had a very rough game against Baltimore. They beat the crap out of that poor guy. The Colts ugly lost to Cleveland. Phillip Rivers did not have a day to remember. I think, though, he will right the wrong this week, and the Colts will pick up a big win against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Phillip Rivers has not been great by any means this year for this Colts team. However, I really like Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor
One of
has
my
been
biggest rookies to
fantastic
watch.
in my opinion. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. Big bounce back game for Phillip Rivers in that
I'm
one.
going to go with the Colts as well.
That's all he has to
That's
say.
all I have to
Man of
say.
many words and then the
all
man
I
of
have
few
to
say.
words.
Plain and simple,
All in
ladies and
one swift moment there. I can speak, I promise. Bears at Panthers. Bears are 4-1. Panthers at 3-2. Bit of a toss-up here. McCaffrey might be back. Again, we're recording on Tuesday night, so who knows. Rumors are indicating he might be back, though. And I think because of that, I'm going to take the Panthers in this one.
Something that's very strange about this is the Panthers are favored by 3 points, even though they have less of a record. I mean, it's one win separating these teams. I don't know. Nick Foles didn't look good as a starter. And when you're really putting it up against if McCaffrey's back, I'm going to take the Panthers too.
Bears coming off of a big win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. Panthers are tied right now. Yeah, the 4. We got the 4 up. The Panthers, however, are tied for first place in the NFC South. Playing at home, Chicago's defense has been fantastic. This is another toss-up for me. I got to go with the Bears, surprisingly, in this one. Teddy Bridgewater's still been great, but Nick Foles and the boys get the job done this week.
Jets at Dolphins. The Jets now without Le'Veon Bell. The Dolphins gave the Seahawks a game, then smeared the 49ers last week, and because of that, I'm riding with the Dolphins in this one.
Fins, no doubt. Jets stink.
Everybody's on the Dolphins. Well, I am too. The Jets have just been awful. Le'Veon Bell wants out of that system right now, and who can blame him? Adam Gase has not been great with that team. I'm going to go with the Dolphins at home.
Packers at Buccaneers. Big matchup there. Can Brady and the Buccaneers finally start getting something together after another rough loss? Obviously, I don't think that was even consecutive losses for them. No, it definitely wasn't. But, I mean, can they start getting a win streak going here? Finally start hitting on all their cylinders. Packers 4-0. Some talk about them being the best team in all of football. I still think it's kind of quietly, though. I don't feel like the hype around the Packers is what it was a couple of years ago when Aaron Rodgers and them were all there. But I'm going to roll with the Packers in this one. I think it's a shootout. Yeah, I'm going to say it confidently that it's going to be a shootout. But I'm going with the Packers.
I'm going to go with the Packers as well. I think Rodgers is just going to outperform Brady, and I think that the Green Bay defense will hold true, contrary to your statement about it being a shootout.
Sorry.
I think this is going to be not really a high-scoring game. Rodgers likes to score just enough points to win, and I think the defense will hold true. I'm doing with the Packers.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this one against you guys. I think Brady takes Aaron Rodgers back to school.
Oh.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Brady can't even count.
But I'm going to go with the Buccaneers in this one at home. I think the defense really came through last week, surprisingly, even though they lost that game against the Bears. But I think they're going to hold it up this week, and I see a game in the 20s.
I hope you all enjoyed the way it took off that vest. It was very mesmerizing. Rams at 49ers. I don't know if I can ever pick the 49ers again after what happened last week. I'm going with this Rams team.
Surprisingly, this is a toss-up. I don't know. I mean, you've kind of got this 49ers team coming back to the form they were, but is that form something that's favorable? And I'm gonna say until they. I mean, I feel like they'll bounce back, but this is gonna be a close one. I'm going with the Niners, but it's gonna be close. Maybe one or two points.
That's a bold pick after they get slaughtered by the Dolphins.
Yeah, but Kittle said on Twitter, he said that one's on me. And he said he's gonna come back with a vengeance.
Yep.
And I got more to say about Kittle coming up.
Is that really on him, or is it on Jimmy Garoppolo?
Oh, I'd say it's
benched after that awful performance. I'm gonna go with the Rams away this week.
I'm going to go with, we send it down to our gambling expert, Ethan Morrison, to tell you about his picks for this week. Ethan.
Welcome back to my gambling expertise pick here on To The House. I went 1-2 again last week, so not the best week, but we're looking to improve that. So it's probably a good thing that you didn't bet with me last week, but this week we got some good games. First game, 1 o'clock, Baltimore versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Baltimore's favored 7.5 in this game, and I'm taking Baltimore all the way. They're a strong team. The Eagles did not look very good against the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers gave up some points there to make it a little bit closer than it should have been, but I just really don't think Carson Wentz is going to blow through the Baltimore Ravens at all. I just really think Lamar and the Ravens, are along with Hollywood Brown and all of those guys, they're going to just be able to torch that defense of the Eagles. So yes, Ravens easily going to cover the spread at 7.5 on Sunday. Next game, I'm probably going to regret this pick, but I'm taking the Steelers at -3.5. As Coach Tomlin said, it is hot in the kitchen, and it is hot in the AFC North right now. So yes, the Steelers, they give us a little bit of a scare every week, but I think 3.5 is a pretty reasonable spread. I think the Browns are a very good team, which is probably the first time I'm ever going to say that the Browns are actually a pretty decent team and a team that people will have to look out for. But I really think the Steelers are on a roll right now. If they can just play a complete game with the defense showing up at the right time, the offense still playing like the way they have been with Chase Claypool, Smith-Schuster, James Conner with the running game going, I just really think the Steelers are going to be able to cover this spread at -3.5. My final game for this week is at 4:25. It's the Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Green Bay is favored by 1.5. I really think Green Bay coming out after a bye week, they're going to be able to play well. They got Devontae Adams back. So the Buccaneers, they didn't look really good last week. They were kind of rough. Tom Brady was all right. So I just think Green Bay, they're undefeated as well at 4-0. I just really think they're going to be able to control that game and cover a spread at -1.5. I think they'll have a pretty easy job down in Tampa Bay. That is all for this week. I did not put my hands in my pockets this week like average guys said. So I hope I can win you some money. Let's do it.
And thank you, Ethan. I haven't bet with Ethan yet. I really think I should try to win some money. Have you bet with Ethan yet?
I haven't yet.
That's bad for the brand. That's very bad for the brand. We don't bet with our gambling experts.
fantastic,
Maybe
though.
you at home have. Let us know how you're doing. Maybe you bet against Ethan.
My gambling whereabouts remain within the estate of John O'Brien, Esquire.
Incredible. Monday night doubleheader. Chiefs at Bills, both coming off losses. I think Patrick Mahomes is pissed. I think Josh Allen is pissed. And I think this is
you're
the
in
best
front of
game
this
of the
guy,
season so far. That's my bold prediction. Best game of the season so far. Not my game of the week, though. I have to be a homer and go with the Steelers game against the Browns. I think the Chiefs pull out a win here, though.
This was very close to being my game of the week. Probably should have been. I got to go with the Chiefs away against Buffalo. Buffalo coming off that awful loss against the Titans. I think Patrick Mahomes has been fantastic with that offense. I think they're going to win this game.
This game's at 5 o'clock on a Monday.
Yeah,
That's
surprisingly.
very
It was
interesting.
supposed to be the Thursday night game, obviously moved because of the Tennessee Titans and Buffalo Bills game taking place on Tuesday.
I'm going Chiefs all the way. I think this team is pissed. I think Andy Reid's pissed. And if you don't think he's cooking up some spicy play calls for this Monday night game, he's going to be serving you dinner at 5 o'clock with a Chiefs win.
Wow. That was bold. Cardinals at Cowboys. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, now under center for the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cardinals, though. Go with the Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins, time and time again, proves that he's one of the best receivers in the league. Kyler Murray, one of the most electric young quarterbacks in the league. Because of where he is, though, I feel like the hype around him is not as much as it should be. But I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals in this one.
I'm also going to take the Cardinals simply because I think Dallas is a team of pretenders. I think they're phonies. I don't think that they're the team everyone hypes them up to be year after year, and I think they're proving it so far.
First
and
in their
Dak
division.
and
2 and 3.
Well, what division is that?
One that we could possibly
very
win
good
if
one.
we found 8 other men to play football with us.
Precisely. And without Dak Prescott,
No, we
it's going to be
couldn't.
hard for them
No,
to do
we couldn't.
anything successfully over the next couple of games, maybe the rest of the indefinitely the rest of the season.
I hope we can old takes expose that.
Oh, we'll see.
I see the Cardinals in a lower scoring bout.
Man,
Plain and simple.
a few words once again. Our fantasy players of the week are up next. I've watched the Steelers. I have so many concerns about them. Their defense has great ranks, but time and time again, there's a few times each week where they just get dusted. So I'm going Odell Beckham Jr. as my player to watch for fantasy this week.
I don't appreciate that.
I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong, though, in that thought process.
My fantasy player of the week is George Kittle because coming
tight
off
end.
of a suffering, not a suffering, it's not suffering. I would say it's a loss that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And if we know George Kittle, we know he's a man of the theatrics. He's going to come out and have a great game. I think Garoppolo is going to get back to what his previous form. I think they're going to connect for at least a touchdown and a half. Look for Kittle to have a big game against the Rams.
I'm going to go with the shocking one this week. Michael Gallup.
Whoa.
Andy Dalton obviously taking over the starting quarterback role for the Cowboys. I think in that final drive, he really built up his confidence with Gallup, and I expect a big week from him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. This has been To The House. We will see you next week, ready with more NFL picks. Take care of yourselves.